Zidane. There was a time I dreamt about Zidane being manager of Manchester United, and sometimes in my fantasies, I think about Zidane, everything he did in his time at Madrid, winning the three-peat with Madrid. I don't think that in this era there's a manager that comes close to Zinedine Zidane. I think what he's done, it resonates into the annals of history, and nobody will come close to that record.
That would mean that Ancelotti is probably a coach in cricket, because in these contemporary times, the very thing that Zidane did three-peat. Okay, Ancelotti has not done it three-peat, but he's done it 4 times, and that is crazy. In fact, no manager in whichever era has ever won the Champions League 4 times. And for me, that alone just puts him at the toppest of
Speaking of managers who have won the Champions League 4 times and 3 times, and I always want to draw in somebody like Conte. Will he ever win the Champions League with anybody?
He's not done coaching, and I see him to be able to win the Champions League.
For me, I think Conte is a waste of everybody's time.
Why would you say
that?
I
honestly, I think that if you look at Conte and all the great teams that he's coached and his abysmal record in the Champions League outside the annals of performing in the domestic league, and obviously everybody can take a league and win with any other team. Ranieri has shown the way. I'm pretty sure that a couple of other managers have also shown the way across the various leagues. But you look at Conte, you look at his skill set, you look at the teams he's coached, and you look at his record. I think, honestly, he's a definition of everything hype.
I wouldn't say that is the definition of everything hype, because I wouldn't say that the very fact that Champions League eludes a coach takes him out of the context of being an elite coach, because someone like Conte, for whatever he's done, you can pardon him the fact that he's not won the Champions League, but he's played in the biggest of leagues. For instance, until he came, Juventus had been from the ashes. They've risen from the ashes of going to Serie B from the Calciopoli, and he comes in and he wins a team that goes unbeaten. Remember, unbeaten is something that a few teams have done. You can talk of Arsenal, you can talk of AC Milan in the 90s, and that Juventus team of 2011-2012 with Alexander Matri, Vucinic, and Arturo Vidal. And he did it 3 consecutive times. You know that when you go to the Serie A, you can only talk of 2 teams that have won it 3 consecutive, or 4. It is Torino and Juventus. And Juventus set that tone. He won it 3, and he gave the mileage for Allegri to come and continue for about 5 times or 6 times. And that is crazy. And he comes into a Chelsea team that a season before they had capitulated after winning the league in 2015. And 2016, Mourinho said that is the 3rd season curse, brought almost everything to a halt. He comes in and 16-17, he wins the league. 17-18, wins the FA Cup. He goes to Inter Milan and breaks the dominance of Juventus that has won it 9 times. The only problem you can have with him is that he is not a cup coach. Because with Juventus, he did very little, winning the Coppa Italia, as well as even in the English Premiership. Apart from FA Cup, he didn't really do anything. So he's not the coach that is for the sprint. He's the coach that is for the marathon.
Well, for me, you mentioned all the beautiful things you want to see about Conte, going to Italy, winning all the things that he wants to win, winning the coming to England, doing all the things. But you see, for me, when people want to study the game and write about the history of the game and the coaches that made the impact on the game, I don't think Conte will be considered. And 2 reasons. 1, you mentioned the Italian Serie A and Juventus. I mean, it was almost like the Scottish League then. There was absolute monopoly. If you look at the Italian Serie A then, and you look at the other big teams, you look at Inter Milan, you look at Juventus themselves, you look at AC Milan, you look at Lazio, you look at all of the big teams. That was the era that there was no money in the Serie A. Juventus was the only team that had the spending power. Juventus had the best players in the league. Then we talk about the era of Conte coming to Chelsea and the things he did with Chelsea. and his acrimonious sacking at Chelsea. You look at all of these things, and you want to look at some of the very best managers, even in our time. You look at Jurgen Klopp. You look at somebody like Pep Guardiola. You look at Zinedine Zidane. You look at Ancelotti. These were elements that did not just dominate in their leagues, they translated that dominance into the Champions League. I mean, listen, retrospectively, let's take Conte's record. I think the best, off the top of my head, the best record he has in the Champions League is quarterfinals. I dare say I would rate somebody like Erik ten Hag over Conte in the context of the Champions League, because everything, and you see, a coach can only be rated where he's coached. Everything Conte has done, somebody like Ten Hag has even done it and more.
For whatever that you said, you may have a point, but first of all, let's talk about his era in Juventus. It wasn't dominated by Juventus. Like I told you, before he won it, the last time Juventus won it was 2006, of which they were stripped of. Inter won it 3 consecutive years. AC Milan came to win it in 2010, 2011. So Juventus for about 6 years had not won the league. They had just risen from the ashes of Serie B. And he came and assembled, really, who was the star player in the team? There was no, he brought in an aged Pello. There was an outcast in Pogba. Pogba even came in when he was about finishing the season. Then there was a Marquisio. Then you were talking about Vidal. Who knew Vidal? He came from Bayern Leverkusen with Stefan Lichtsteiner on the right. You can talk of Buffon and the three, Bazzagli, Bonucci, Chiellini. The front were Vucinic and Matri. And they were being supported by Giovinco. Who knew them? Giovinco and Quagliarella. And he won it with AC Milan, who were having Ibrahimovic. And he comes into... Funny enough, you know the season that he won the league in England? That was the very season that Mourinho came. Guardiola, the great Guardiola came, and he won the league in the midst of these people. You are talking about comparing him with Erik ten Hag and all of that. And we can say that someone like Di Matteo is a legend because he won the Champions League. Listen, winning the Champions League is an accolade. I'm not going to take it away. Someone like Klopp has won it, but I would never ever rate a coach like Klopp over Conte because Klopp has won the Champions League. No. Winning the Champions League does not necessarily mean that it puts you on that pedestal that you are better than every other coach.
But why would you rate Conte over Klopp?
I would rate Conte over Klopp.
That's outrageous.
Listen, if I would give you the reasons why I would rate Conte over Klopp. Klopp, let's take Klopp and his time from Dortmund through to
Is there the one player that Conte has ever improved?
I just gave you instances.
Is there the one player that is ever improved?
I gave you Vidal. Who knew Vidal? He was the one who made Vidal.
Let's come to Tottenham. Has he improved anyone?
How many months has he been there?
No, if there are signs there, you should see it. I mean, because see, I'm not the greatest fan of Jurgen Klopp, but there are fingerprints to players who have improved massively.
In the end, what is that?
He's won in the everywhere he's gone to. He's won the most important trophies.
In how many years?
It doesn't matter.
And I am trying to tell you that Conte has also won wherever he's got into.
Has he ever improved any player?
Of course, I gave you instances. Lukaku has seemingly had a very, very bad year or 2 years at Manchester United.
Did he ever improve anyone at Chelsea?
Of course, he improved. Did
he improve anyone at Chelsea?
I am giving you instances. There was Victor Moses. There was Marcos Alonso.
Oh, come on.
There was Pedro.
Oh, come on.
Pedro had been bought a season before.
Oh, come
when
on.
you talk, I'm giving you instances.
Come on.
When you talk about Juventus, I said there was Vidal. When you talk about Inter Milan, Mauro Icardi had just been sacked. Who was Lautaro Martinez? And he brings Lukaku to score almost a 30 goal. In fact, his tally that year was not a number of goals he has ever scored in his life. He improved these players, goes ahead and wins the league from Juventus, who have won it for 9 consecutive years.
And then is mediocre in the Champions League.
The Champions League can be his downside. It can be his Achilles heel, but it never takes him out. See, if you're talking about the elite coaches in Italy, 5 of the elite coaches who have ever been in Italy, I would never take Conte out. I would, because you can talk about Don Fabio Capello, he will be there. You can talk about Mancini. I will put Mancini there for winning. Arrigo Sacchi will be there. I will put him there. I'll put Vittorio Pozzo, the one who won them the first 2 World Cup. I will put Antonio Conte. Why would I put Mancini and take away Antonio Conte? Why would I? Because listen, the very fact that an Italian coach comes into England, wins their 2 most important trophies in 2 years.
That's something Mancini did.
I said in 2 years.
That's something
Mancini never won.
Mancini
also, and I'm saying that is why if I'm supposed to put Mancini as one of the best coaches, I will always say that Champions League put you to another level. Conte is not an A coach. He's a B plus. I said for me, my A coaches that in my contemporary of watching football, you can talk of Ferguson, you can talk of Mourinho, you can talk of Ancelotti, you can talk of Guardiola, and you can now add Zinedine Zidane there. Because of the fact that at least for nothing at all, 2 leagues, 3 Champions League is enough.
Wait, you're taking Klopp out of that A league?
Why would I add Klopp?
Well, guys, he thinks Conte is elite. I don't think Conte is elite. I think that Conte is massively overrated.
Then Klopp is.
Go to Sports 101, watch, share, comment, subscribe. And as always, we are shooting from the Red Mango apartment in Takra, Ghana. If you want a place where you can relax, if you want a place where you can spend time, quality time with the family, this is your reference point.